I'm Dan Francis.
And I am Jamie Francis. We are the Francis brothers, and we made this movie. Dan's just adjusting some audio gains. All about the gains.
So Harry,
right?
where did you shoot this? Actually, I wasn't here when you shot this.
Yeah, there's a couple of shots. These are some drone shots using a Phantom 4. Mostly the Cowichan River, the Kinsel Trestle in coming around Shawnigan Lake. And then that was closer to, I'm not too sure. Anyway, basically same river, different chunks. Oh, it's just. So this was shot in Alice's Diner in Nanaimo. Big fans of, well, not fans. What was I going to say? I was trying to say they helped us out a lot.
Yeah,
Proponents of...
This is above, and then beneath this diner, they have a little bar, and that's later you'll see the bar in this film too. So we kind of utilized Alice's Diner and the bar below pretty extensively. This is Rick Myers here
on the left,
and Tim Lorimer on the right playing Thule. And Rick plays Uncle Mike.
I remember this scene wasn't in the script.
No, it wasn't in the
original script.
It wasn't in the original script. It's been a while, so I'm not sure.
Do you know why we shot this
well,
later on? I think we just kind of we lacked
we wanted to have a little bit more clarity in
of who stole who and who kidnapped who.
Yeah, so we kind of
who stole them.
I think it was a little too ambiguous of who
what happened, basically,
who the culprits of the kidnapping were. We wanted to drive it home that it was indeed these two bad fellers here.
Yeah, we didn't want to make that wasn't the part of the joke, like the twist or anything, right? So we just wanted to make it obvious. That actually gave Thule or Tim Lorimer's character actually some lines, because he actually didn't have any lines originally.
Yeah, originally he was just a one day character, and
we shut him out in
I remember calling him and saying, "Hey, do you want some lines? Because I gave you a bunch," and he was pretty stoked about it. This is good.
Cop's played by Dave Piniak, who actually is out in LA now, kind of full time.
He just finished up on a pilot. I'm not sure how much.
The Weed Life or something weed based, which it seems like there's a few pilots like that.
Yeah, it sounds good. I really hope it has some success.
Dave's a great guy. Came out and just kind of shot with us for a few hours, and
came back quite a bit later and did his ADR.
We
did. Do we explain this ADR thing?
Did we explain it real front?
Well, we redubbed. We ADR'd, we recorded everyone's dialogue in this movie. It's 98% re-recorded. That was
sort of by choice.
It originally was kind of our idea, and then we realized how much work it was, and we'll probably never do that again.
That's a drone shot, actually, right there.
Yeah, that was a drone shot. I like that shot. Isn't that cool?
I remember
Tim. I was shot in my living room.
Yeah, Tim driving there is just shot in his living room. We had like a little.
I like this miniature crash here.
Yeah, we got a little miniature Firebird and threw it down some road, some concrete. I think it works.
This is our cousin.
Yeah, and then it cuts to the Firebird that is actually a real Firebird, but it doesn't run or anything.
That was our cousin's Firebird.
Brittany.
That was sitting dead in her yard for a while, so we were like, "Hey, can we use it for our flick here?"
Yeah, thanks, Brittany, for letting us use it.
And
I know it was a bit of a, even though it didn't run or stuff, she had she was quite attached to it.
Well, now it lives in
infamy.
Yep.
So the Firebird is actually a combination of miniatures and an actual Firebird.
The Firebird becomes like a character in this movie. Although, like in the script, it obviously wasn't written as a Firebird. It's just random, just a car.
Yeah, any car.
Of some sort.
It just happened to end up being a kind of a cool car. I just wanted to, like that previous scene where like it shows you with like no clothes on and stuff. It got a little bit of like a woo at the cast and crew screening. I don't know who it was. It was more than one person. It was kind of funny. This is in a thrift store in Crofton. At the time, what was it called? I don't know. Good Neighbor? No. Crofton Thrift Store, I think. And it changed owners pretty much right after we shot this. And it doesn't actually look much like they changed it a lot.
Yeah, quite a bit. There's actually a laundromat in it now.
Yeah, right at the back where he's walking out of there, kind of is like a laundromat. So. Yeah.
So I had this. There's a couple of scenes where I'm rubbing my arms and stuff. It's like the idea was that he like hasn't paid his heating bill.
Oh, I remember that. And you wanted some motivation.
So that's why he picks up this hoodie.
Yeah, which actually, if you've seen this movie, I mean, this is. I just want to throw that out there. Like, if you're watching this commentary, you've probably seen this movie more than once, or at least once, which is like just a huge thank you, like that you actually want to see what the hell we made this for, and how we made it.
This intro was definitely influenced. Clerks influenced this intro, especially this shot.
Yeah. It
right?
was
Dante's opening up the shop.
Yeah, I think it actually, I'm actually really proud of this intro. I think it really works as an intro. And this is a composite shot of using a multiple buildings.
If you couldn't tell.
Yeah, unfortunately, like you can see like on the door that it's a little bit too bright on that lighting of the natural lighting. The Nick Snacks is composited in, and that's like the left side is not even there. And then it cuts to.
Yeah, it does a job.
It's decent.
Great song here by Fall Fair Car.
Evan and Jess Matheson.
Local dudes. I love this song. I like their music. And it's not just because they let us use their music for free. No. I actually do like this.
You wouldn't have it in a movie if you didn't like it, would you?
Well.
No, the good guys.
If it fit the tone of the movie.
I always like the cop lights there. It's kind of weird. Like we didn't. None of these props were put in there by us. They would just happen to be there, other than the urn in the far right there, or the vase. Now this is just like an insert shot that we shot quite a bit later.
That was actually, I think, the last shot we shot for the movie.
Oh, really?
Really?
Like the actual paper?
Yeah, the papers. The shot.
Oh yeah, because Zach and Jeff, the Mungle brothers, weren't even in the movie until the very end.
It wasn't in the script, no.
Yeah, it was like years later. So we actually tied them all together, like with the pictures.
That actually bank shot was a cell phone shot, was it not?
Yeah. Yeah, that shot was a cell phone, actually. Just a quick little bank shot we needed. So this bank manager here is played by associate producer John Shaw. Good friend of ours. Good artist. He does like what do you call his art style? Mixed canvas?
Mixed media.
Mixed media. And actually kind of we were bugging him to make like kind of like a ransom note sort of painting. But I don't think he ended up doing it. But
I think it was too short notice.
Yeah.
This was shot later too, because we shot that originally.
This is like literally that's in your kitchen, basically. Yeah. Kitchen wall there. We were like we had all these plans. Like, oh yeah, we'll put some windows in the back and stuff, and it just ended up like.
Well, yeah,
a lot of work,
I wanted
right?
to fix up that blowout too on behind John. It works fine.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna put like a window there. Or I think I wanted to put a painting there or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks fine. Kind of draws the eye to it, but that's all right.
If you hear ambient background, it's Dan's kids being put to bed. It's real life, right?
It's real life, as it happens.
As it happens.
But yeah, I remember we shot this entire thing, and I'm like, no, I need to be wearing a tie.
Yeah, I remember. Actually, I wasn't here. That was the only shots I didn't shoot.
What was?
Was John's shots. I wasn't there.
Oh yeah, I shot that, right.
You got those
because that was actually his part was shot at his house.
well later, well
in
before.
his like living room or something.
Yeah.
And my shot. There's like quite a few years in between those shots, probably at least 2.
Yeah, this is a pretty kind of not a famous, well, kind of famous around here. 4-way in Glenora.
Beautiful little spot.
Yeah, and we composited the Royal River sign in there. That was always kind of the dream. It's like, oh, it's got to be.
That was shot in my
Yeah,
my
this shot of
garage.
Dan here is just shot in the garage, and then it cuts back.
But we superimposed like the Royal River sign there because I can't. What is on there right now?
There's nothing. It's like a little
Community events,
Yeah, community
like, thing.
It's a lot smaller.
But to the
too.
right there's actually a cool little gas station, which actually was in. I saw it in that show. Was it Eureka?
Yeah.
Pilot episode of Eureka. Is in
Yeah.
there.
That's
I'm like, hey, I know that
that's
spot.
quite old now. That show.
Oh yeah.
And this is now down by.
Not too far away from that actually.
No.
That actual spot, but this was shot. This was shot fairly early.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, actually, probably middle, probably a couple years ago. I remember the light was going down, and we're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
are we gonna have enough light?" We really pushed it as much as we could.
And I think some shots are just a little too dark overall, but.
I liked it because I think you turned up the ISO a little bit on a couple of shots. I don't know. I thought the grain kind of it worked. It worked. I like this whole sequence kind of transitions the earlier stuff that was in the morning and day, and then this sort of transitions to the night. It's a good transition shot.
Yeah.
Sequence of events that turns it into the evening.
This was a tough to kind of like fix and not fix, but like kind of like put together properly. Like we're trying to have this idea that like he's just kind of this depressed guy and he's just like he's got nothing left, and we're like, well, what if he's just trying to like he put a bunch of rocks in his pocket and he's gonna like
Weigh himself down
in the river and gonna go in the river, but then he just kind of throws him. It's a little bit like, I mean, it kind of goes with his character because he kind of doesn't know anything. Really? He doesn't know what to do, or...
Well, he's a coward, right?
Yeah, he can't even... And then the car crash. And this was actually kind of like a sound design. Eric, our sound guy, Eric Berzins, kind of just threw in this kind of quick idea where he just threw in the crash sequence sound over that part, kind of as like it ties together the time that like when the car goes off the cliff a bit with the other character in the trunk, and it actually works. I think it ties together a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't really have an idea what we were going to do there. We were thinking of some effects, some lights flying around, but
Yeah, we were gonna superimpose like headlights.
Yeah.
Or backlights. But I think the sound works really well.
These shots were really tough. I remember we were shooting with like me, you, and I think brother Steve was there, and that's it. These were actual like really wet, dark day here.
Yeah, it's not fake rain; it's real rain.
No, and it was pretty brutal. We didn't shoot very long, I don't think.
But the stuff looks really cool. I thought it looked cool. Probably like stylistically looks probably the best stuff in the movie.
And then this cuts to like quite a bit earlier. This one of the earlier shoots. I feel like we're kind of just commentating on the movie, like what's some like overall feelings you like. Are people gonna? What do you think people are gonna like ask about this movie? You know, I guess we haven't really played it yet. We're playing it this weekend, so this is like the pre of showing it to anybody. This is just done in the backyard of our Uncle Rick. Shot a lot a lot of it actually.
Yeah, the Firebird's in his driveway, and this is sort of like
just off
probably 100 feet away from the Firebird, but like well into the woods, kind of behind his yard.
Mm-hmm. Really cool yard.
In the same property, we actually shot like the Greg's apartment is in a house. heck was that? Weird. His brother's in.
Oh, so now this is again shot in that same property, but this is actually
In their
another
garage.
house of. This is owned by Betty
Bond.
Betty
yeah.
Bond and Don Isaac, who actually was shooting with us on this.
Well,
This scene, watching us shoot, just kind of hanging out, seeing these crazy guys with a hose in their garage. We blacked out, like this was like the middle of summer, and we blacked out the back. Do you remember this? Like, and
Yeah.
we tarped it, and it took forever.
Took all day.
Took all day to do it, and then like
To
I
set
think
up
by the
these
time we
shots.
set up the black, it was dark outside.
Oh yeah.
So
Naturally.
yeah. So, but it was. I remember it was like a really bright, sunny day. But anyway, Don was there, and sadly he passed away in the summer.
Yeah, I think he would have liked to seen this movie.
Yeah, I think it would have been cool.
I regret he had a great voice. He's been a good voice. He had been a good character.
Good guy.
So yeah, so this is just static, obviously a static.
Poor man process.
Poor man process.
But we tried to up the game a bit. Like, you know, we got the hose going, get that heavy rain feel.
This is definitely influenced by Blood Simple. I remember, like the rain, and
did they have a lot of the poor man's process sort of straight on?
I know that this, like, I don't know, for me at least visually, like the opening of Blood Simple.
Oh yeah.
When they're in the car, sitting in the car.
Yeah,
and it's
I haven't
raining.
seen it in years, so yeah. I mean, again, yeah, maybe this is kind of like we're definitely heavily influenced by some Coen Brothers movies. Even to the fact that like I was watching like the Fargo show and stuff, and there was like moments where it's like right out of our movie, and it's like they ripped us off. No, but it's like it's stuff that kind of happens sometimes, right? When you make something that's so kind of in that world.
Yeah.
I don't feel bad. Like I don't think, you know, I mean, some people will call us that we're copying, but it really is not. It's just.
It wasn't Fargo TV show wasn't even out when we wrote this.
When we started doing it.
And there's Horrible Bosses 2, and there is literally a kid or like a rich guy, but the son is kidnapped, and then they run into like the Horrible
like a
Bosses guys.
or something, wasn't he?
No, the Horrible
no.
Bosses guy. He like the guys like Jason Bateman and the others. They find him, and then he runs off or something, but then he comes back. I can't remember who the character is. It's like Chris Pine or something.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes back and he's like, "Dudes, I want to continue like the ransoms."
Yeah.
Like it's this movie. Like,
It's like so weird.
like
And
it's
when was Horrible Bosses 2? Around the same time we started shooting or something? When it came out? Like it's definitely before this, but not like we watched it.
I don't
and
think it
then,
was
like,
before. It was like it's only a couple years old.
Oh yeah. But that's the thing is like sometimes with you make these low budget movies, they take so long that, or like, you know, they take a more longer than, so you end up watching these movies that come out like, you know, a year after you start shooting or something, and then it's like, oh, so I we just want to put that out there that we didn't
rip off Horrible Bosses 2. Although there's like a plot element that's very similar.
Crazy similar.
That's whatever. What are you gonna do, right?
So what do you think about the first, you know, whatever it is, first 20 minutes?
I feel like it does definitely like is sort of setting up the world and stuff.
Yeah, it takes its time. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's not the quickest like first act.
That's like a composited on there.
I know.
There's a lot of compositing where you probably wouldn't think it would be compositing and effects and stuff.
We threw just a business card there as like a placeholder, but I don't know why.
I think we came up with that idea later that he would.
That gag was on the fly, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it may have been.
And then now this is my house. This is like the doorway, and it's sort of set up like a look, you know, what a thrift store would look like.
Sort of going up to Greg's apartment.
Yeah.
The idea is that the thrift store is below there, and then he's going up here, and now we're back into Betty's house.
And this is another this is a room like a place, yeah, like a.
Oh, I wanted to talk about that POV shot that he's coming in.
Oh, the POV.
So that we're editing this scene around.
Perfect segue because we were just talking about
I'm like, where the hell is the POV of like me coming in? Like, we need a POV of me looking around. Well, it didn't exist. And then this entire actually house was like moved around and stuff. Obviously, like none of the stuff was in the right spots. If we went to back like years later to go and shoot, so we actually created that POV shot
with just a bunch of stills and stuff.
A bunch of still images from other
I think it works
parts
fine.
of footage and B-roll and stuff that we had.
It works great.
I think it looks. If we didn't say it, I don't think people would notice.
No,
that's one effect I don't think people would notice. Other ones.
And there's like the POV
notice.
right after that. That's actually that's a bedroom in my house. Like your bedroom in here is always shots of a bedroom in my house. It's weird. Nobody thought of that. There's like a couple different, and then the bathroom is also in my house too.
Yeah, that's true. Shot probably a year later. This is the first stuff that we shot with Logan.
Yeah, this is like one of the first days, if not the first day.
Logan Nielsen as
it was the first
junior.
Day.
This was our first day.
It was like July 2014.
Yeah, we started shooting July 2014. Yeah. But it's funny because even he ages like throughout this. Like he looks quite young.
There's that one place where he has like a lot shorter hair, which kind of.
That's the one thing about working on, stop and go sort of filmmaking, where sometimes you don't shoot for a long time. You have different hair lengths stuff, which we battled within this. I thought mine stayed relatively okay. I think there was times where it was a little bit shorter. Junior's was okay, like Logan's.
Oh yeah, overall, just like the one scene really.
Yeah, there's a scene under the bridge coming up, and he has a different haircut.
There's that hockey helmet that shows up a lot in the movie. So I remember originally the script was like instead of a hockey player and a hockey player's son, it was more of like a Bill Gates, kind of like a Silicon Valley.
Yeah, the first draft had Junior was the son of Bill Gates.
A Bill Gates type character, but instead
so there was like a bit of like computer backs.
Yeah,
like computers. There was a little bit of computers involved, but
we went way more realistic route of just talking about hockey.
Yeah. Well, it's a little more Canadiana, and
it's something we like. You know, we're into hockey and stuff. So that scene was all pieced together at different times, like the note and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and quite a bit later. And so then this is underneath the opening scene at the diner is like a little bar, not like a full functioning like, really involved bar, but
it's open now and then.
Yeah, it's not like a full time, but it definitely works. I would like to have had a little bit more people in this, but it kind of works as like a dive.
I don't like the empty space behind these guys. Like I wish there's maybe like a couple of guys at the bar and then maybe a guy in the back. Like
should have had more people
because it looks.
I think we had people walking by
empty.
And stuff, but way too not way too
like
sporadic.
It could have looked cinema empty.
Yeah,
but it just looks kind of empty.
Ugly. You're talking cinema ugly.
Yeah.
And so now this
empty doesn't look like empty on film.
So when he picks up the phone there, do you remember where that was shot?
That was shot in Rick's
Rick's literal kitchen. It's like his kitchen. Yeah. He's got this old school awesome. Because we were like, "Hey Rick, do you know where like a really cool old phone could be?" And he's like, "Yeah, come here." And it's like literally in his house.
Yeah, that door right there with the window.
Like
that's actually a bedroom. Like, yeah, it's really interesting.
And we shot that cell phone.
Like, we made those little UFC signs.
Oh,
posters. EFC Extreme
Funny Championship. And it's like November 17th or something.
But it's those little things like, and I know it's very minimal, but I love that kind of world building, right? I love that kind of stuff.
That was actually one of my favorite parts of this movie is we actually ended up building a lot of stuff. And I actually got a comment on the cast and crew screening that why did we use Molson Canadian for beer? And then I realized we don't really have a good close-up of the awesome beer labels we made. What was it? Brown Bear? The Brown Bear beer. I guess it sort of looks like the leaf kind of looks like the bear logo. But it kind of bums me out because like we actually put a lot of effort into that.
Yeah.
We actually made our own beer and stuff. Like here, like
he's bronzed bear.
Bronze Bear, yeah. Like all these guys are drinking like Bronze Bear. Like they have all labels and stuff on it. We should have got a close up in there.
So here's local politician Doug Routley. He was friends of Rick, and Rick, when I first met him about the script, he's like, "Oh, have you cast Star, like the hockey player, former hockey player?" We're like, "No." And I'm like, "Oh, what about?" He's like, "Oh, what about Doug Routley?" And I'm like, "Yeah, Rick, I think you're gonna be a producer on this, co-producer." He's just got Rick has this. I don't know. He just knows everyone.
Yeah,
he's a good person to know.
Yeah. So yeah, we basically just met Rick by starting this movie, and met with him at Alice's actually, and he just basically became a champion of this movie and this concept, and liked what we were doing and wanted to be more involved. So yeah, he basically got Doug, who this is definitely, I think, his first at least recorded acting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's done some
theater stuff, but he really gets in there. I like him as the Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah,
type.
No, for sure. I know this scene was this washroom was actually off that bar.
Yeah.
It's actually the only time that it actually makes it kind of like logistic sense. Although now that we have put the phone in that little lobby between the bar and the washroom.
This is Lauren Semple.
Yeah, she really killed it. Like actually, we had some girl like back out. This was like a scene that we kind of, I don't think it was in the script. It quickly came together.
Yeah.
So like, oh, we need a confrontation between these guys, and then I was like, oh yeah, well we need to throw in like someone who comes in to kind of disrupts it, and to also show like how much like the status of Star.
Yeah.
And
I think it works okay.
This girl.
I always had a bit of an issue with this scene. I don't know. It just I don't know. It's like 80% of what I want it to be. But what are you gonna do, right?
Oh yeah, I had him Rick chewing gum because of Glenn Ross.
Oh yeah. You watched that and you told everybody.
Yeah, because what was it? Pacino was chewed gum throughout that movie, and in an interview he's like, oh, because that's like a power thing, right?
This is Matt Donald. Margaret is a friend of ours that we went to school with and known for a long time, and this is her 8 or 9. He was about 8 or 9 at this time.
Yeah,
I think he's about 10 or 11 now. Not too sure. We actually did shoot this a little bit later in the thing. That's why Logan has a little bit different haircut. But we wanted. For some reason, this scene was always this was actually like the most edited scene in the script wise and any kind of pre-production. Like we always kind of tweaked it, where we were trying to get them to like set up the ransom or like the handoff basically of the son and the money and all this, but like, and how much they're boneheads about it though.
Yeah.
And so we kind of came up with this in editing where like Rick's Uncle Mike comes in but he's like late. He's like on a different time. I think it works. I mean, we do it a couple times in the movie, so like it's not like the only time we do it. The time like a time crunch or time, what do you call it?
Oh, it's like displaced time. Like?
Yeah, like we have the car crash coming twice, and then Uncle Mick comes in and he's just missed him.
But you think he's right there.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think it works. Who knows, right? Sometimes you just don't even know if it works anymore. And I even color graded it a little bit different. As you can see it. It's like a little bit
later in the day.
Different.
Another drone shot.
Now this is like a little bluff that is supposed to be sort of like Star's kind of like sanctuary, kind of off his house, but this is actually at Rick Myers' house. area. Like,
Yeah,
it's
he's
actually,
got,
I don't think...
got a little bit of property there.
Yeah, so
right
it's
on,
like...
right on the Nanaimo River.
Yeah. There's definitely like a river theme in this.
So
movie.
this is the start of like the whole backstory. Stars like he's dictating. We had actually this be. We had a couple scenes, but we had cut it. But he's basically working on an autobiography to
make some money.
To make some dollars.
And as you find out later in the movie, or soon, that he doesn't really have a lot of money anymore, even though his kid thinks he does. And Rick and Uncle Mike and Thule as well. This is Mary Ellen, good family friend of ours. I think she got the biggest reaction of the cast and crew screening.
Nice.
They just loved her.
She's great. I think our next movie should just be Parking Lot Lisa.
Well, she was in a little trailer we did years ago, remember?
It was going to be Parking Lot Lisa, Parking Lot Lily.
Yeah, Parking Lot Lily. There's a lot of scenes where like things are about to happen, but there's like a disruption. I wonder if that's weird. Like, it's almost something I'd never really even thought about until now.
We always
watching it.
They always say, like in screenwriting, if you have like two people that agreeing and like always put a third party involved, even if it's like even if they're not like a part of the plot.
Yeah.
Like, even if they're just like, say, a security guard or just some random stranger.
Mm-hmm.
So this is like first kind of glimpse of Greg kind of really didn't really want. He's having regrets, as he says, pretty on the nose. But then Junior's admitting that like he's got his
shortcomings.
Yeah.
I think the scene ended up pretty good. I remember we had really banged this out really quickly.
That's why it was two-footed monster. Like,
yeah, we didn't get a lot of movement.
We had like we had shot like all day for this with Logan, and yeah, we were just kind of done. We just needed to. That's why they didn't really move around in that. I think it looks fine. It doesn't look too like two-footed monster.
I always like the little effect of like the eye opening up. That's actually my eye. I composited like an opening.
Oh yeah, because he didn't open the eye.
Because he didn't actually.
That actually wasn't in.
That was an edit. That was an edit.
Yeah, it wasn't something that was like. It's not like we asked him to open his eye and he couldn't open his eye.
No.
It was something after
it was
the fact.
It was a post decision.
It's one of those things that because of the choices you have now, you can kind of like choice things to death. Like you can change a lot of things. Starting to realize that, like, you know, it's not necessarily the greatest to have all this choice.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you need to kind of make a decision and go. I think that's the hardest thing now is that nowadays is that because it's all digitally edited and stuff, you have kind of like limitless possibilities.
Yeah.
But I find
that's another shot of my house.
Yeah.
A bathroom in my house.
It all sort of ties together.
And then we threw in those. I have a bunch of what is it? Like we have a bunch of vending machines. Some vending machines I end up picking up. And those boxes were full of like rotting gum.
Oh, yeah, I bought those. Do you still have those vending machines?
Yeah. Never got rid of them.
But they were like energy gum, right?
Yeah. No, the box. Yeah, actually they were. We realized that like Uncle Mike, he likes to pee. He, like pees on a lot of different things.
Yeah. Well, it's a power thing, right? If you
It's like alpha dog?
Yeah, he's alpha dog.
And see, he picks up the helmet there. I wonder if people really pick that up, because then it's kind of used later.
This was the first scene that we shot with Rick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we hadn't known Rick that very long, actually. And this was shot quite a bit later.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have any of the inserts of I think the scene works well, actually. I don't know. I like it. The performances are good.
Well, I wanted to show like the Rick. He's vulnerable, but because Greg knows Greg's involved, so he can't really but Greg also doesn't know that Mike's involved.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all these people.
Everybody knows somebody's involved, but not everybody.
Yeah, I think that's the idea. Like, it's not what I think the idea is. It's what the idea I wanted with this,
yeah.
but I hope it kind of pulls off. Is that like
I think it does.
They're all kind of keeping everything secret.
Yeah, for sure.
Because Greg has no idea that Mike's involved, but Mike doesn't know that Greg's involved.
Mm-hmm. That little ring was it was kind of I still regret not getting like a good ring going. Like the idea was we were gonna like kind of add to it in post, but we just couldn't really get that going.
Well, it would have been nice to just have a nice championship ring.
Yeah.
This was.
I think it still works.
I think we just got it at the dollar store or something.
Yeah, I think it still works, but it just doesn't look like a lot of hockey like nuts or would pick that apart. That's not a real championship ring.
No, not even close. There's no year on it or anything.
Yeah, it's gotta be big. It's like
Yeah, because he even says like earlier, he's like 1996, right? It's like where's
well,
that?
he just remembered that.
Yeah.
It's his dad.
It's a weak championship ring.
Yeah.
You want those to be fat guys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I regret that too.
But sometimes you just have to do what you have, do what you get, use what you have.
I remember I proposed the idea of because we didn't have like that a decent looking ring, like maybe like actually cut it all out, like still refer to the ring, but we've never actually see it. It's just like mentioned.
Yeah,
you look at it, people look at it and stuff, but you don't see the insert.
Oh yeah.
Filmmaking is sometimes all about hindsight. Oh, I would have done this different.
Sometimes you got to pull the trigger, right?
Well, that's what I was saying. Like you have a lot of choices.
I always like that shot. It's really cool. Got a color to it. You know the story of the I love my penis sign in the car. Dan, do you remember?
Yeah, actually, no. Brittany, our cousin,
it was in the car,
wasn't it?
It was just in there, and we just didn't let.
It was not a prop. It was just in the car. I haven't actually asked her about it. I haven't asked her about the.
Oh no.
It's an air freshener.
Oh really?
So I just think that the air freshener probably smells like penis.
So this is all shot at different times too. Like I think the wide shot is like one of us. It's either you or me.
Yeah, this is actually
struggling in the.
This is supposed to be Thule, but it's Jamie.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty good Shemp.
It's decent.
And then that's actually Tim.
Yeah. This stuff was all like I remember shot pretty quickly. But I think it really like turns out like sometimes it's not about like how long you have to shoot. Like this is kind of like it's weird. It's like being brutally honest and stuff on my own stuff is I think that's the second half really kind of like ramps up. Kind of starting about this point.
Yeah.
It actually gets better, which I mean I think that's what you want.
Yeah, you'd rather have
It would be better at the end.
better at the end. People will remember the end.
Mm-hmm.
Some good sound here.
There's like a composite. That's like a thumb. One of our thumbs.
Yeah.
And I think it
Pulled up.
works okay.
Some effects in this are okay, and some are actually invisible. Like, I think that POV in the apartment is pretty invisible.
Well, you're not really expecting that,
No.
you know.
Well, it's literally just like a missing shot that we didn't do.
Just didn't do.
Sometimes sometimes you move too quick, and you know, if you don't have a shot list and stuff organized, and sometimes you just miss a shot. And sometimes you're in editing, you're like, oh man, never thought of a shot like that, but we really need that. Would have been nice.
Mm-hmm. I kind of like how this like, just sort of just kept on it. Like I kind of like this cut here, where it's like there is no cut. I think it plays well.
Oh, some good sound.
It always like we actually had this late in the game in post and editing, we realized like Logan, we did have a few different takes obviously of him going like, you just cut my goddamn finger off or something like that, and we originally just had the one,
and you
we
doubled it up.
Yeah, we threw in another version of it. I think it's this here. Yeah, it just kind of like paced out a bit, like it was a little quick. Like he's still very quick to like shrug off the finger cut, which was, you know, it's just like a pacing error. Just a pacing issue, I guess. You know, he'd be in like crazy pain. But I mean, I guess with the, you know, the idea of like Greg not knowing anything about, you know, because he's kind of got a bit of a loser and stuff. He doesn't know anything, so he's like, you know, the drugs could do it and help, right? And it's just like kind of like, it's like a little boy, what he would say, like kind of like, you know what I mean? Like like he's not knowing anything about really. But it definitely changes Greg's character at this point. Like he took some action actually.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I don't think he's ever in his life been so like.
Well, it's kind of
cocky.
the beginning of the end of him.
Yeah, like he knows he's too far.
This was actually shot at the same place that we filmed not same place, we're close.
Same area, same forest.
The original when
they chase each other.
When the two are chasing or Logan is running through the woods and I'm chasing him down. This is just shot like maybe 20 feet away. Sort of this little spot in the woods here is nice.
I think the performances here are really good. I don't know, and I like the kind of like the free, like the wide camera. I don't know what it is. Just like this stuff. I don't know. There's something about the wide camera sometimes or you know, the wide lens. You know, let's you know, I like how you're using the whole frame, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then in turn, I'm using the whole frame, letting you walk around, right?
Yeah,
it's kind of let it breathe. I like the bright shirt of Logan, and then you're kind of like blended in. Like he's kind of like he's like the white rabbit. He's like the, you know, he's the fancy one, and you're just like you're in with it.
Right at home.
Mm-hmm. Well, because you're in the dirt, right? There is like a blink here that Tim blinks once. Right on that shot somewhere. And he, I like rubbed it out.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Again, with like that kind of like wide camera. I like it.
I like some of the sounds here.
Yeah. Oh, this is we just spent like a day like shooting like random stuff like that, like axes and stuff.
Yeah.
It was good. It was worth it because it was like we really needed it. And this is like I'm pretty sure those two scenes were shot at the same time, same day. This scene and that.
I think so.
Scene.
Yeah.
This was a little later, obviously. So I think this is
actually
shot
shot chronologically.
Yeah,
like
actually, yeah. I like this stuff too.
remember I think I just got a can of like pea soup or something, tomato and pea soup.
Oh yeah,
tomato
for
soup
the
or something, from like dollar store though or something.
You remember this? Remember when we shot this? Do you remember like the one like thing that you would never? I don't think you still don't forgive me.
It doesn't bother me as much.
No, it's weird. Like there's a giant like stick in the back of Dan's coat that
I didn't know it was there.
Well, I just said that it was on purpose.
I think
No, we didn't really catch it until later, but I didn't really think it was a big deal. I kind of like it. He's been playing around in the woods, right? It's in every like the wide shots too, and but maybe you won't even notice it if you're not.
I wanted to just really kind of sweaty, the sweaty hair, so I put like some soap in my hair.
Oh really? Oh, I didn't even know that.
It kind of looks like kind of.
That's the makeup wardrobe girl did that?
Yeah, no, no, that's what I did.
Yeah, like I think we should take a 2 seconds to say like how much,
It's very DIY.
I mean, yeah, and the crew. I mean, like Steve, brother Steve and Kate, and their wives helped out, James Bays, he helped us out on a few days, but really like I mean.
And Perry Johnson.
Perry, and but most days were. I mean, very limited crew. And so this is our Uncle Rick's actual house.
Yeah.
And, so we're still in that yard, basically. Yeah, we shot a lot of the movie in that yard.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's crazy.
That's probably like at least half.
Yeah, I didn't even think about how much the percentage was. And they have the little parrot there. I remember we shot this quite late, wasn't it? Kind of that moonlighty look to it. He's like got his fingers taped up. We're kind of just ending up watching this movie.
Yeah. This was shot quite late.
Yeah, this was again like in my house. And do you remember how we shot this?
This was shot with a drone. Yeah. Because we couldn't get wide enough.
We couldn't get wide enough to show the whole bedroom. So
there still in the shots like there was some blinking from the drone?
Oh, is there?
Some light.
I think if you would be really lucky, you can see it. But yeah, we shot this with the drone because it was the widest lens we had at the time.
We shot this quite late, and why? There's just something we wanted to smooth along this whole part better, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it was.
Yeah, we did shoot, and it wasn't like scripted really, but I think it really works. I think you kind of like solidify like the how Greg is. He's kind of like wishy-washy. He still doesn't really know what he's doing.
We can't pull the trigger on anything.
Yeah,
really. Like
now he's just like he wants to give up, and he's just like. I love that he has to write his names. Like he's like my confession, and it's like you're waiting for him to actually say something cool, and it's just like bye, Greg. Good. Like I love that. It's actually like that's actually one of my favorites.
I actually liked how the sequence came together.
Yeah. I mean, again, like that's your kitchen, that's your living room. That's downtown Crofton.
It's my old Toyota.
And there's John, like composited on a shot there, and then this is again one of the first days of shooting, and then this is later. Little fire effects here. I think the fire effects were okay. They're not, not top notch, but I think they work. So we actually there was a scene where we actually had Greg's dad. as sort of
Yeah.
like this weird like Jedi type character.
Like a Force
Like a
ghost.
Force ghost, and it was good. I think a version of this movie could have had it in there, and we actually had Rick play your dad, so
Yeah.
that they were like twins or something.
Yeah, he was like a ghost, and he was talking to Greg and sort of giving him shit throughout the movie, and he showed up in the beginning a bit, and then he showed at this point.
Remember, he was in the beginning.
There was at this point here, and then we.
It was nothing
well,
about
it was a lot to do with our first act was
Just
getting pretty
super
fat.
thick.
So
I mean, I still think it's a little bit long.
there are a few cut scenes in this movie.
Which is like, it's always a good thing when you're actually cutting scenes to make the movie better. We actually, like, there's like the RV scene. Maybe we'll stick that on the Blu-ray or something. But remember the whole, we would go to Rick's house or Uncle Mike's house. But they just sort of like repeat different, like the same story.
Yeah.
But it's really cool.
Yeah,
It's
we
a
might
neat scene.
put that on the Blu-ray.
It's a neat scene, actually. Oh, and there's actually, he ends up killing a guy at the end.
Yeah, he shoots his parole officer.
Shoots his parole officer, yeah. So he actually adds to his body count. But I think that part wouldn't as worked as well.
Yeah.
Maybe it would have. But
Well, it was a timing thing too, right?
yeah.
So this is where we find out Star's got no money.
Which we've kind of hinted that he's kind of hinted to it,
Yeah.
at least. This is actually on Rick's property again. Rick Myers, who plays Uncle Mike, and this is on one of the porches. He has a bunch of different different people living on there.
I like how they're throwing around this finger. I was actually pretty impressed with my finger.
Gelatin
we
finger you
never
made?
really saw it. in
No,
the
but you
movie.
made it like a gelatin
Yeah, I made like a gelatin mold out of it.
It
I
actually
made a mold.
It actually looked pretty
and then
good.
Put gelatin.
And it wiggled good.
It had a good.
And we used it on the effect. Remember the chopping? The
Yeah.
chocolate finger? We kind of used a part of that. Oh, and we haven't really talked about the car that you use. So the first car we had was actually a very similar version of this car, right? Is this like a Hyundai Accent or something?
Yeah, but it was
And
red.
It was red, and it was stick shift, and so Dan couldn't even drive it very well because he doesn't know how to drive stick shift. But then also after the first day we shot, which was in the garage when they're driving at night,
It died.
it died, completely died, and like couldn't get it
So we
anywhere.
had to find another
So
car.
basically, we had to find another very similar car, and then we just changed the color of the car of those driving scenes to more of a gray.
Yeah.
But that car is actually red originally. I totally forgot about that, actually. This is like a really crazy, foggy day.
This is Mount Prevost, right?
Yeah. And then this is like the same time we shot when they're coming down with the axe and stuff.
Yeah.
We just drove down the hill a bit. Well,
Yeah, we drove down
10
a few
maybe
minutes and then just shot there.
just down that road there. I like the fog and stuff here.
Mhm.
It's cool. 'Cause
Kind of serendipitous. It turned out well.
it was actually one time it was like too foggy. I remember like you were like completely blocked right out.
I remember it was pretty cold. I
It
remember
was
it
like
was cold.
January 15. I think.
Yeah, I think this is January.
This is like a cool train trestle thing.
That's Chemainus.
Oh, actually, yeah. This is actually
so
shot
my shot's
in
Chemainus,
two different
and this is Cedar
Cedar area,
or Cassidy.
kind of by.
Cassidy, Chemainus.
Yeah, Dan's shot here.
It's Chemainus.
Greg is in Chemainus, and
That's Cassidy.
Cassidy. So, I think it still works. I bet barely people wouldn't even notice. I think when we were here with Rick, we didn't have Logan. I think that was the problem. Why we had to switch it up.
Again, it's all about just trying to get
Timing.
people's.
It's all about timing. We do that a lot, actually. The just, using who we have, and if you don't have them, you just, because there's even shots later in the movie where we have Katie and Steve as like Logan. Like
Oh, yeah?
the shoulders and stuff.
Yeah. You actually played Logan at one point, too. Outside the cop shop,
Oh yeah.
just for that wide shot.
I like that. It kind of bugged me here that we Logan should be sort of like maybe rubbing his head or something. It was kind of a misdirection there. Maybe we didn't have that. I forget what we shot before or something, but maybe we should have had him at least like wincing a bit or something. Well, that's actually shot just outside your yard there.
Yeah.
The part where Greg's...
That was shot much later.
Yeah.
Way later.
Well, this was like a green screen truck shots. I think they turned out okay.
Yeah, this was shot much later.
Oh, and then we made these like magazines with that is actually Doug Routley playing hockey. It's an old picture of him with an awesome mustache from the 80s.
Yeah.
So that's
glad we got that.
Yeah, that's so cool. He's definitely like a great Wayne Gretzky type character, like because scoring 85 goals in 85 games.
Yeah.
Or 85 goals in 1985.
Yeah.
Not 92 goals, but he's definitely like a Gretzky proxy, I guess.
That's the thing. I enjoyed like creating the world of this.
For
of
sure.
This movie.
And just like how like the Royal River Kings are kind of like the junior team that everybody follows, and in the small town. This is shot much later here too. With you, I remember I went for a walk and I saw this cool like little whatever you call them here, culvert or something, and I'm like, and it's just up by Dan's house, so I'm like, oh, we should just do a quick shot of you jumping through it. We didn't really realize how deep it was.
Yeah.
And you actually like wrecked your phone or something while shooting that.
Well,
Not on a shot. We weren't shooting.
Of course, we weren't rolling.
Of course, we weren't rolling, and he slipped into the water before with his phone in it, and he fried his phone. I like how this little leaf flies off the car there. I like that. I always remember that.
Well, it wasn't shot really much in the fall, but we had kept some leaves
around. Yeah, we had bags of leaves.
So we threw those on the car. That was actually a prop.
It was a good idea.
Because we liked this kind of fall look.
Yeah.
Well, originally I wanted this to be like snow, but then it'd be completely like Fargo.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of like shemping going on in here. Like for Logan's shot here, I think I'm pointing the gun at him, and Rick there's no Logan there.
You play the reverse.
I play Logan. I play the reverse in each of these shots. So like I'm Rick in this shot, and then I'm Logan in this shot.
And then we did have them together.
Yeah, right here. That's my hand.
Yeah. But we had them together in that opening shot when they come through. That's all we shot.
That's clearly my hand there.
Yeah, the jacket doesn't go all that way up. It's so small, so subtle. Now this is us just playing around. This the close up.
Yeah, my finger pointing at the
same day we did all like the axe chops and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Remember we had this effect of Thule's head like way longer.
Yeah.
And we chopped it. Probably only used about a third of it. It was just like too creepy. I think that works though. I think I like the creepy factor to it. It's a little goofy. Just enough goofy enough to pull off, I think.
A lot of swearing in this movie.
Yes.
A lot. And I remember
I did a closed caption search on it. Remember I gave you the total?
Oh yeah, what was it? 300 or something?
No, it was like I forget now. It was over 100, I think.
Over 100? No, I was going to say I remember we went through the script.
And we cut out some.
And I cut out like a lot of swearing. So like, yeah, can you imagine? The original script had a lot more swearing.
Wow.
It's the nature of the story too. It's kind of like this crime story. Like it'd be weird if there was no swearing. Like, these are bad people. These are the wrong people.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the other part of my hair is really short in this one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice it. This
Man.
was like, remember,
Extensive.
Yeah, we had to-
set extension.
this was
on.
like one of like major errors, I think, while shooting at least, was we shot it was kind of the beast of having this deciding to use this Firebird that was, you could not move it no matter what. Then we had the scene at the end where it's kind of all around the Firebird, but unfortunately, like, the Firebird in the background is just like a yard, like it's kind of like at the start of this forest, but so we had to like,
and you're looking down into the.
so there's like tons of stuff in the way, like
there was a little woodshed,
and like this wood area, so we had to like really fudge it. But basically, it went down to, in the end, we had to rotoscope all the background for all, like, a lot of these shots, like
which you actually outsourced.
Yeah, we got a guy named Mikhail Chubkov, and paid him a couple bucks to do it for us, and we really, that was huge when he actually ended up doing that, and I saw what he was doing. I think
it looks pretty good.
Yeah, and I was stoked that it was something that was taking us a long time to do. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's definitely better than what it was. One of those things where it's like, it's deciding, like, do you just do it and then worry about it later, or do you worry about it then and kind of piss around all day and not get anything shot. So it's kind of like that. It's definitely like a two.
This was definitely one of those fix it in post situations, and which was not the right way to do it.
No, because it's really like you're not really getting anything out of it in a way, like, not.
I like that wide shot there.
So in the original, I'm not going back to the original script. I'm saying, a very early cut of the movie, Junior actually dies here.
Yes.
And it was shown to not that many people. Maybe Rick, maybe the producers, maybe it was just us. And it was almost like a unanimous thing that Junior, Logan's character, Junior Star, shouldn't die. Here, at least.
Yeah.
So we worked out basically what the ending is, which I do like. I do like it, and I think it works. I think it works even better than what we had originally. But we did have to shoot that a whole end scene with Logan and you. And this is like something, was it in script? No, it wasn't in the script. But the whole urn kind of ending.
This was a change too, and
kind of a post.
A rewrite and rewrite in post.
Rewrite in post, which you can do.
This is some shimping by me. That's Doug there, obviously.
Yeah.
But everything that's wide and you don't see Doug's face is me.
Yeah, because I remember when we shot this, Doug. Well, then when we got Doug, all we had to do was just shoot Doug. We didn't have to worry about Rick or anything. Even though Rick was there, it's his yard, but he didn't have to, like. It's not optimum sometimes because, like, then you don't have that interaction with the characters as much.
But I remember when we did come to shoot this scene with Doug, because we had already ran through it considerably at least with Rick and I. Like, that's me right there. This was with Doug, it was banged out in probably 20 minutes.
Yeah.
His shots here. Everything like that's me there. Rick's hugging me.
Really? Even on that?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Even on that. This is me. That's Doug, obviously. That's me.
Kind of like, it's a dark ending to Star. Because really, like, I would like to have seen Star live. Honestly. Because he's like he's kind of just a guy, a pawn.
Didn't really deserve it.
No, he didn't deserve it. So there is characters that don't deserve it. But the urn thing was thrown in, not thrown in. It was like really we thought about it a lot. It's like, wouldn't it be cool if the urn became like? And then they do this in a few movies, but the one movie that stuck out was that movie. It was a weird movie with Kevin Costner. Is it Kevin Costner? I forget. Anyway, he ends up using this ornament to like kill a guy that he had given his wife. This is an Unfaithful movie, I think. Remember that Unfaithful? Anyway, it was sort of like that. It's like, because the urn was kind of a symbol in the whole movie of like his dad and his past and blah blah blah. It'd be cool to like he actually ends up using it as a weapon.
Yeah.
And I like how we used it. I really like this. I don't know. It really comes together. And even that effect there looks pretty decent. It's not bad. The truck's clearly like not like it wasn't shot then. It's actually shot like years later. Was it not?
Yeah.
With like Marv lent his truck, and then he got to be in the movie. I was told during the cast and crew screening that truck is no longer. It's probably a cube somewhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's sad. Another vehicle immortalized in this movie. Nice. This movie ended up being a lot about vehicles.
Yeah.
That truck. I think Rick's truck's still alive.
Yeah.
And there's Marv. He loved being this guy.
He's got the cigarette falling out of his mouth. It's great. Yeah, he really liked it. He liked that he was in it. And then this was shot like this is in your shots are like in your.
This is my driveway.
Driveway,
and this was in
my driveway. I think no. Yeah.
No. Yeah,
I forget now. And we just tied this together, where they had like, somehow during the decision process they thought that these things would protect them from gunshots. Again, like kind of just like a stupid thing they would do. I kind of have this idea that they did it really early on, like they put it on even before like anything went down. You know? And there's Kinsel Trestle again. This kind of looping back and this is
bookending.
This is who is this? Bailey?
With Bailey Murray, yeah.
Crown Radio, another world building thing. And this is actually, again, this is Dan stubbing for Star in the water there. I think that effect actually works.
It works well.
Pulled it off, I think. You got these like downtown Duncan shots.
This is shot like guerrilla style.
Yeah.
Jumped out here. Downtown Duncan. Crofton. This is Crofton, right?
Mm-hmm. This is kind of coming to the end. There's Claire driving. Santa Fe. Again, this is Uncle Rick's yard there. The dog coming in.
So Greg still has this idea that like he's
had a chance with his girl.
Had the chance with his girl, and then he
kind of accepts it. Some of more acceptance, I think, now for Greg. I think he he knows he's not fighting anything anymore. Like he knows what he has to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think he ends up being like, yeah, just more what he needs to be, not what he thinks he needs to be. You know. And this is Mike Hood's business, and we stuck a Mungo Brothers thing on there, and this is Zach Tanner.
And Jeff Carpenter.
Reading the magazine. Zach runs Hub City in Nanaimo, like a good little kind of film society. who helped us out a lot. And actually going to have our world premiere, basically. I like that, like, where it just, like, it cuts to a punch. He gets punched out. I like it. And then you're just kind of, like, just doing it. He just tosses it back. The cash for Ash. And again, that scene was, like, kind of written later on.
Yeah.
It's actually one of the last things we shot.
Yeah.
And then kind of a little...
The final drone shot.
Drone crane shot. Good little bookend. Well, that's it. Cop car's coming to get you. So what do you think?
Bad boys.
Really appreciate you guys checking us out. And that's all I really can say. Keep following our stuff if you want to, or shut us off now if you don't want to hear us talk anymore. We're the Francis brothers, Jamie and Dan, and this is our movie, The Wrong People. Wrong People 2 coming. I don't know. Have you ever thought of making a sequel?
No.
But a spiritual sequel, maybe?
Oh, maybe.
That was probably more
in the same world.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll see you again. Check us out on francisbrothers.com. We're on YouTube and Instagram, Twitter. Yeah, we're trying to be everywhere. And check out our podcast, NimPods. And that can be found at francisbrothersfilms.com as well. Or on iTunes. Check it out.